Hello, it's Clive de Carl, and I'm joined by Steve Pollard and the wonderful Jane, who are putting on another health summit very shortly up in Scotland, in fact, at the Crieff Hydro and also at Turnberry. And last year at Crieff, it was fantastic. I've seldom seen so many people so keen to be there and participate, and I think it was mainly because of the main guest, who was Barbara O'Neill. And I'm sure most of you know Barbara, but she is a powerhouse and has so much knowledge. And I've seldom seen an audience so devoted that uh, they're all watching. There's no stragglers. They're all in there. It's fantastic. She's fantastic. And I'm very pleased to be joining her again this year. But Steve and Jane are the organizers, and they can tell you even more, much more.
Yeah, it's a good point, Clive, about the people hanging on every word that Barbara says. I mean, she is like a little goddess to them. She's very powerful, as you say, on stage. You can watch all the YouTube videos, 10-year-old videos with adverts in between. There's nothing better than seeing her on stage. She's absolutely brilliant, and she's very funny as well, Jane. Eh?
Yeah, and for someone so tiny in physical appearance, she grows on stage, doesn't she? She's a very different personality, but very personable as well. She's a very humble lady, and obviously the advice that she imparts is immense. And it's just all about getting back to basics, isn't it? To how our grandparents used to heal and treat their health conditions. So
Yeah. And audiences play a big part, don't they, Clive? You kind of touched on that there, that the audience were keen. Barbara touched on that. We've got a really good crowd coming to this one. I've kind of got the pleasure. I do a lot of the bookings and the hotel stuff because they can stay at the venue, and it makes for a kind of immersive 3 days. We've got two 3 day events back to back. So we've got Crieff Monday the 22nd to Wednesday the 24th, 3 days, 12 Barbara O'Neill 1 hour lectures, plus guest speakers, including yourself, Clive. So you're doing two lectures, and then we've got Dr. Tess Laurie, and then we've got Dr. Malcolm Kendrick, and a little video message from Dr. Vernon Coleman as well, who can't be there in person, but he's happy to send us a little old man in a chair just for us. And we did this recently in Cheshire, and Barbara sat and watched him, didn't she? And she said, wow. And she said after it, I'm not pulling my punches anymore.
Yeah.
He made her really think about what we've all gone through. He brought it back for me as well, Jen.
yeah.
See, when I watched it, we're living in a little fantasy world, Clive, where people think this stuff's over and we're out the woods.
That was just the beginning, though.
You're going to
That was the
need
test
you're going to
run.
need all the health and life hacks that you can get up your sleeve. You're going to have to get good at this stuff fast, because there's no way we're out of the woods yet with this stuff. Absolutely none. And I don't care where it comes from, whether it's financially, digital ID, another pandemic,
Food.
food,
It's all
you know,
interrelated.
the weather stuff. Things are coming that we need to be ready for. And these kind of health summits are very, very hopeful, because a lot of people are really worried out there, Clive. We feel it all the time, that we see it in the comments, we see it in the videos that they share, we see it in the kind of things that they like. I don't know whether we're being played, programmed to be negative, programmed to fear the worst. It's that kind of keeping people in a state of fear.
Yeah.
These events create hope, and they create knowledge, great knowledge of self-healing. So at this event, people are going to get Barbara O'Neill's lifetime of work and research crammed into 20 lectures over 6 days. They can come to one 3-day event or the other 3-day event, or they could even come to day passes if they want. But if they come to either 3-day event, we give them the full recordings of everything, because we want everybody to have it, Clive, including yourself. You'll be on those recordings, Dr. Malcolm Kendrick, Dr. Tess Laurie, 21-hour sessions with Barbara. That's valuable to individuals, but it's very valuable to households, because Barbara is very good at making people sit up and take notice. She's like a motivational speaker and a health coach almost, Jane. She will convince people to change their habits.
Well, she practices what she preaches. You know, she's up in the morning going for walks and her exercises, and she eats how she says to eat, and she treats her health conditions how she preaches, how she advises everyone else to treat them. So she is a walking kind of testament to what she talks about, and she's very inspirational and aspirational at the same time. She's
and very knowledgeable as well. You know, she's almost got like a photographic memory, but she knows everything that she's talking about, and her knowledge gets passed down. People don't remember everything on the day, Clive. They take it in, they get a lot, you know. Being in the room with the speakers and Barbara on stage is very different to watching a YouTube video. The energy of the room, the people you meet, the buzz, the laughter of the audience, the apprehension before it starts, the
excitement. And
the wee bits of music and all that as you sort of get rallied into an event. You know what it's like, Clive? And I think that's what you were touching on there. Last year, that was our first event. Now, for us, we were like the ducks on top of the pond. You know, the legs were swimming furiously. One little broken leg and going around in circles. But to others, it looked as if we knew what we were doing. We're now 2 events in. We've done 2 of these bigger events. You were at our last one as well, Clive. That went well in Cheshire.
I mean, I must say, you organise events like professionals. You know, usually events run late and it's all chaotic, but your events have been brilliant. And I think, you know, fear is the biggest weapon they have, because it's free. So everybody's worried about 20 more, you know, most fears don't actually happen. You know, in reality, we just think they might. But, you know, if fear did occur for real in some way, what are the 3 important things? Well, shelter, food, and health. Now, hopefully most people have got their shelter sorted out, but how many have got their food sorted out, so that if something happened and money stopped for a few weeks, well, what are they going to do? So, you know, the sort of work you do, some of the foods you provide are not just organic and stuff, but storable, you know, long term. And I think people need to just have a little bit of comfort that they've got, you know, a few weeks supply maybe of their favorite stuff that will keep. You know, just it's got a sell-by date that says 2 years, that doesn't necessarily mean, or 6 weeks or whatever, doesn't necessarily mean that is the reality if you kept it in the fridge after you've opened it, or whatever you're meant to do with the individual product. But equally important is knowing how to fix yourself. And that's why Barbara is so amazing. I mean, she talks about, exactly as you said, what our grandparents would have known about, how to make an onion poultice, you know, how to use simple products that we can all get hopefully relatively easy access to, and we can fix our earache with an onion. We can, you know, I mean, it's just incredible.
It's like castor oil, Carl. When you Clive, when you think about it, we work with a guy called Carl. That's why I keep saying Carl. There's a guy called Carl. We work with him, but it's like castor oil. I think everybody's granny had castor oil in their cupboard.
Yeah.
That stopped. A generation went without castor oil. She's brought it back, big style. viral. Castor oil is coming back into households. It is a little miracle product that every household should have. Celtic sea salt, another great thing.
Cayenne pepper as well.
Cayenne pepper, yeah. We sell these, these compression wraps, that make it easier, Clive, if you've got a sore shoulder or an elbow or wrist. Castor oil on, and it goes round the
So it's designed for the specific part of the body. So
targets the area.
Yeah.
So she's very good at that, and it's simple stuff that your granny would teach you, but that's why it gets us all back to basics, and that's where we have to go, and we have to go there quickly.
Yeah.
That point you made about food, we sell a lot of long shelf life food. We're an organic. So Good Food Project is an organic alternative to the soulless supermarkets. Jane and I set it up because we were very, very worried about these guys running everything. We don't want those fake food corporations running the show with food. I don't want to be beholden to them for food, Clive. That's game over for me. If I have to get fed by these people, I don't trust them enough to feed me.
Well, that's why we set it up, wasn't it? Because we were concerned about the control that they have over the food supply, not just on the shelves, but from the ground and the farming industry as well, that the control that they have over that. And everyone knows how that's being attacked at the moment. So it was two-pronged, wasn't it? To kind of take away the control that they have over the food supply, but also to support our farmers at a ground level who are being annihilated on price by the supermarkets. So that was the two main reasons. And also to bring organic food more mainstream and make it affordable. I mean, obviously, organic food is more expensive than non-organic, but our aim is to make it affordable for everyone. And the way we're doing that is to make it possible for people to buy it in bulk. And if they're buying in bulk, so say 6 kilo bags of porridge oats or red lentils, that way they can buy it at discounted prices. So it increases our negotiating power, so we can negotiate better prices with our wholesalers, and we will always pass those savings on to our customers as well. That's what we're working on today, weren't we?
So, I mean, their customer base, Clive, are very similar to your customer base. They have concerns. They're hopeful people. We're all glass half full type people, but we recognise when a problem's in front of you. We're not daft. We're not going to manifest our way out of this. We need to do something about our position, and the battle that Jane and I chose was healthy, good organic food from a company that you can trust, who actually have your interests at heart. These supermarkets and fake food corporations are quite the opposite of that, and it's been proven.
They are criminals. I mean, could you legally put on your label under organic, this is not poisoned like everything, all the other food is? Could you just say not poisoned?
Well, it's amazing that they get to sell it under the banner of it's got the label on it. That was them and their, how do we trick the little people? Let's sell them poison, but let's have it on the label in small print, so that we did tell them. That's part of their, they like to tell us what they're doing, Clive, you know that. And we, as a society with bad habits and really no discernment, accept that. That is totally unacceptable to me. Jane and I would get strung up if we put any of that stuff on our shelves. If we started to put the preservatives and additives and chemicals and the sprays and the stuff that they've got in their tins and they've got in their food, if we did that, there'd be pitchforks and torches out there tomorrow for us. Why not them? Because they've got us where they want us. They've positioned, they are a deeply entrenched mafia. They have their street corner dealers, the supermarkets, positioned exactly where they need them. that you have to go to them for your food. And if you have to go to them for your food, at some point they can put anything in those tins if they feel like it. And I do not trust them. I don't trust what they've put in the food for years. And there's no going back. Some people say boycott them. Boycott them for what? Make them change their ways. Their factories are set up for processing food. Their meat is injected with water and all sorts of stuff to plump it up. They're not going to change that. But even if they did, would you really want to go back to them? Surely it's once bitten, twice shy. I think it's a full boycott. We do not go back to them. And our business is there to create an alternative for the people who are discerning, Clive, like your customers in your community and our community, who actually know what's going on, who want a supermarket alternative. Because the problem is some guys in our community set up something to say we need to fight back against food, and they come up with a box scheme veg. Unless I can buy crisps and stuff like that. Crisps, organic wine. People like that, they're organic potatoes cooked in olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, not seed oil, and not a GMO tatty or a crap sprayed tatty, and you're sitting there at night munching into that because it was buy one, get one free. You'd rather have that quality, but we set up to say you need to be able to do a supermarket type shop. We can't drag people away from the supermarkets unless they can get pretty much all of the things that they buy from the supermarket from us, and they can. We do meat and poultry. We do organic fruit and veg,
Right.
freshly baked bread,
Dairy.
cheese, kombuchas. We've got an amazing pantry collection, toilet roll, kitchen roll, wipes,
Cleaning
household
products,
cleaning,
personal
care, soaps, and then a huge range of books, Clive. The books that we've got, Jane, might bring a couple of them over. The books that we've got here are the kind of books that you would want if the lights went out.
Right.
There's one there.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I've got that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, tell me which supermarket in the UK you can buy this in, because people would buy it, but why is it not there?
Well, I mean, there's the supermarket that gives it all away in the name, Aldi. I'm sure in Aldi you can get it.
Oh, yeah.
My pronunciation might be different to other people's.
Yeah.
Because I've got a lisp, there's another big supermarket called Deathco.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But they are giving you clues, and they have built a whole infrastructure around poison food. Now, a lot of people dodged a lot of bullets in the last few years, Clive, but they're not dodging that supermarket bullet, and they're awake, but they're sleepwalking into that supermarket every week and supporting BlackRock and these fake food corporations, and they're turning a blind eye to their own behaviour. Do you know what I mean? They're actually...
Well, they're funding it, aren't they? So by continuing to shop and spend their money in the supermarkets, they're actually funding the agenda and condoning the food that they're selling. So by moving away from the supermarkets and stopping spending their money there, they've got no money they won't have any money to fund their agenda. And that's really the easiest protest. We say that a lot, don't we? It's the easiest protest.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop shopping there and come to people like us or your local farmer, your baker, your butcher, in your local area. Because that's the other thing. We just need to get back to how our grandparents used to shop as well as look after their health. It's going back to basics.
Yeah, we don't expect everybody to get all the shopping from us. We say to them, go to your local farmer, butcher, baker, grower. Get your food from locally where you can, and anything you can't get from them, come to us. And between that group of people, you have set up your own good food supermarket place, and it's people who care. And people like to fight back, Clive. You know, they like to do something, whether it's protesting or signing a petition or starting their own group or posting on Facebook. They like to fight back, but this is you fighting with your wallet. This is, you know, every pound is a protest pound. Why give them? We owe these people nothing, Clive, after what they've put in those shelves. We owe them absolutely nothing, and we should give them nothing. They don't deserve a penny of our money. There's no going back. You take that powerful grocery budget and you divert it to these other people. You're going to save those farmers. You're going to save yourself and your family. You're going to save your sanity. And we might save society if everybody did it. We're ready to grow. We're ready for more people. The trend is coming our way. You know, there's more people want a service like ours, not less. We're not a dying industry. We're poised for growth, Clive. We're ready to rock and roll. And it's interviews like this and conversations like this where maybe within your audience, Clive, there is somebody who's sick of it all and they're looking for an alternative and they'd rather get a box of goodies from us. We can be the same price as a supermarket. We've done our sums. We just need more customers. It's a chicken and egg situation, if you excuse the food analogy. But if we had 20,000 customers buying from us regularly, we'd be as cheap as any supermarket and a much better offering. You take that to 30, 40, 50, 100. Aldi and Co, they've still got, I mean, I looked at the figures the other day, your Aldis and your Lidls and all that kind of stuff. These guys are huge. I mean, Lidl, I think, has got 1% of the market, right down at the bottom, and Tesco at 30-odd% of the UK market. We're into 0.00. We're nothing. We're miles away from a Lidl. We'd be lucky to ever get to a Lidl in the next 10 years, but it's possible. And we could, and we should, because we should protect, we should get behind the people who really feel as we do and breathe life into a real supermarket that can be big enough to survive no matter what these guys throw at us, Clive. Jane and I will be there no matter what to service our customers. The good food will get through. We will get to supplies to people throughout the UK, no matter what these people throw at us. And they're going to throw a lot at us and society in general. People are tasking us to say, well, you're in charge of our food. So we're organic. We can produce food. Clive, we sell your amazing range of products, which is great. People love them, Jane. We want to support people like yourself, Clive. It's your products we want, and it's other guys like yourself who've written books. You know, the Dr. Malcolm Kendricks, the Tess Lorries. Richard Volbes has got a book coming out. We want to support guys like Richard, who's absolutely brilliant. Barbara O'Neill, we're the UK distributor for Barbara O'Neill books in the UK. We're making all the moves that we can as a business to say, well, we're positioning ourselves for our customers. We're going to have the right information, the right food, delivered in the right way, with a bit of love, care and attention. Our staff are all on the same page as us, Clive. Our customers on the same page as us. That's a good starting point. This is like a big live event, Jane. Everybody's it's like this, the emotions of an event, because we're all fighting back. Our customers love the fight back. They love that we're with them. We love that they can pick up the phone to us and be supporting us and not them. It's really, really important.
Well, everything you're doing is super important. Everybody, as you say, has got to cut out the evil corporations and become sensible and go back to the way things were where that's possible. You know, I mean, in the supermarkets, I look at their supplements. You know, I go into some of the high street chemists, look at their supplements. I think, oh my God, do the pregnant women who think they need folic acid and they buy the supermarket level of stuff, do they think that's doing them good or harm? They believe, because they think folic acid is necessary, that it's a good thing. But as a lot of people listening to this will know, folic acid is the synthetic version. Folates is the word that people should be considering to avoid neural tube defects and a lot of the problems that can happen in pregnancy with poor nutrition. And people don't realize that, let's say the baby is low on iodine, where, you know, chlorinated water will cause that to happen. The baby will have a low IQ, you know, be seriously not as clever as they should be. And, you know, iodine is a supplement which would correct to some degree some of the damage that chlorine does. How much does it cost for a year's supply? I can't remember, £20, £25 for a year. So the pharmaceutical industry just can't make money from that. And as you know, the iodine has all sorts of other properties, being able to more or less, in many cases, turn off the menopausal symptoms. You know, it's the answer. There are lots of other answers, and people who are coming to the days up in Scotland will have the benefit of hearing it all firsthand. You know, I like an audience that actually asks me questions, so I'm put on the spot, because one person's question usually is what 10 people or 20 people or you know, your event, maybe 100 people might have wanted to know. So it's, you know, I just love that, getting asked questions and where I can, obviously, coming up with real answers that are hopefully inexpensive, easy to do. And, you know, health is easy. Medicine is massively complicated and difficult. Health, on the other hand, comes down to some simple basic knowledge.
Yeah. And you're very good at that, Clive, as well. We got great feedback the last time you spoke, and you've got a sort of male English Barbara O'Neill approach. It's kind of
You are the British
like the male equivalent, you know. And I've listened to some of your advice, Clive, for myself, and that's why we wanted you to speak at the event again, because we had the great feedback last year. We wanted to get you up again this year, and we want people to get your take on it. It's quite important, because we've got more events planned next year, and we want to get this knowledge out there. This, as you said, 20 quid a year could be the answer to someone. They're looking for answers. They're looking for someone who's on stage that's credible enough to make them change their ways.
Yeah, well,
and that's what we hope, Jim, when we do this. And we state this at the start, that we genuinely hope that everyone in the audience gets what they came for. And a big part of these events is about where you have the event. We could have them in local town halls, Clive, and, you know, we could all be standing in the car park with a polystyrene cup of tea and a sausage roll. Well, that's one way to do it, and that is a way to do it. But our personal opinion is, if you're going to do this, find a nice venue, lock yourself away for 3 days with some incredible people, get the speakers right, get the crowd right, get the energy right of the building and the place you're in. Scotland's a good place for energy, Clive. We've got some... I get people flying in from all over the world. They want to come to Scotland. Scotland's a good draw card. They're not going to be disappointed when they come to these events. We've got, you know, these are Scotland at its finest. These are stunning, energetic places to hold these types of events. We know we've got a good crowd. We know we've got good venues, and we've got an amazing speaker list.
It's this great therapy, just getting everyone together. There aren't many opportunities these days for so many, you know, that amount of people. So around 500 people getting together in the one space who all think alike. There's hardly there's not many opportunities for that at all. So for that to happen for a lot of people who, many have family and friends who don't think the same as them, and they're quite alone, when they come to these events, they just, it just brightens their world, doesn't it? And they just,
It's very hopeful.
yeah, it really lifts their mood and the energy. You can feel it. That's the main kind of.
I had a woman
messages.
today, she phoned me. She was at Crieff last year, the one you were at last year. She's looking to come at the full 6 days. And, you know, I was having quite a bad day, Clive. I was having one of those days where a few wee things went wrong. We all get them. And I was, you know, I had my head in my hands a few times. And I thought, oh, God. Another issue to deal with. You know what it's like in business, Clive? You know, things cross your desk and it can be like, oh, God, I don't need that today. And, you know, certain things that, you know, well, that's going to throw me out for 3 hours and I just don't have 3 hours to deal with it, but it needs dealt with. So one of those days, and then this woman phoned me just towards the end of the day. And she was just so nice. And she was there last year and she said, I absolutely loved it. She said it was life-changing. I need to be there again. I want to do it all again. I loved the people. I loved how you organised it. I loved what Barbara said. I loved all the speakers. Loved the venue, loved Scotland. I want to be back. And she was just so thankful to us for organising it last year that it actually put me back up again from a little moment. Because I don't usually get them, Jane.
No.
But today I had one of those days, and then that woman, and I hung up the phone on her after it, and I thought, do you know what? That's why we do it. When these events start, Clive, we know already we have got something special lined up here in Scotland. It's going to be very, very good. You've been to two now.
Yeah, they're the best. I mean,
they're going to be very good. These ones, they're going to be very, very good.
And for those people, that we do get a lot of people beforehand a bit anxious, don't they, about coming on their own, and they, you know, they wonder if how they'll manage to kind of incorporate into everybody's else's kind of groups. But it's just seamless. Everyone is welcoming, everyone's inclusive, and by the end of it, most of them have made new friends, and not just new friends, new business contacts.
Yeah, networking.
There are a lot of holistic practitioners who go to these events, as you know, Carl. And
they share their stories as well,
yeah.
And you know, their health stories and their health things that work for them, and
so it's a really uplifting.
Lovely to watch, isn't it? When you see it, you know, you see it, and we pair people off, and we talk to people, say, meet this person, and you kind of get a wee feel for who would get on well, and they're all talking, and
yeah, fantastic place to meet people. I mean, really fantastic.
Yeah. It's a good place, and we did that down at Cheshire there, Clive, where we had to be nighttime meals and things like that, and they were nice to.
Yeah, it's great being able to sit down. You got a whole choice of wonderful people to sit next to for breakfast. There's lunch and dinner, and it's really social. I mean, yeah, fantastic in every way. So you're going to offer, I think, a little discount on a couple of things.
Yeah, for your customers. Anybody who wants to come to the event, we will look after them. But we have a discount on the virtual event because not everybody can make it in person. And we don't have much margin. People think we're going to get rich and retire on these ones. Jane, we're not retiring on this.
Not anytime soon, unfortunately, no.
But people look at the headline numbers and they think, you're making a fortune. We will always price stuff as sensitively as we can, Clive. We're not that kind of people. But what we have is a very, very professional virtual ticket. And that's there so that anybody in the UK or anywhere in the world can actually tune in to this event and be part of it, like a front row seat. They will hear every sound. They'll hear the audience laughter, applause. They're immersed in the event, and we want them there, immersed in the event. They could watch the recordings, which we give them as well. They get the recordings to watch after it, but we want them to watch as much of it live as possible. Ideally, all of it from their couch, sit and take it in. For some people, that's a a very good way for them to see a Barbara O'Neill event. It's the next best thing to be in there as a front row seat, and we spend a bit of money making sure that they will enjoy that. Barbara talks to the virtual audience. The virtual audience talk amongst themselves. So while we're all socialising, as you said, it's very social. It's very sociable on the virtual ticket as well.
In the chat room, yeah.
They're all chatting away and sharing things and making friends and all that kind of stuff, and it works really well. So for any of your customers who want a virtual ticket, there is already 20% off this month. If they use Clive 10, they'll get another 10% off that ticket price, which gets them access to the live event and the recordings of everything after the event to watch as often as they want. They can pause, rewind, replay, study the material. Great for any household to have, better than any book, because they can bring someone in and sit them down and say, well, this is what Barbara says about this, or watch this bit, what Clive says about this. For our food business, the same code, Clive 10, Clive 10, will give your customers 10% off their organic order with us, so they can order an organic grocery test, put us to the test, put our food up against that Soulless Supermarket's own brand. There is no chance their food is better than our food, June. It just isn't.
And the choice available as well isn't the same.
So you're getting better food. It might cost you a few pence more just now, until we get 20, 30, 40, 50,000, 100,000. As we grow to those proportions, Clive, we'll be as cheap as any of those supermarkets. Like for like, and it's us, not them. And it's better food, and that's where we want to get to. So your customers are welcome. We would look after every single one of your customers. If they say Clive 10, we know they're from you. They'll get an automatic 10% off the first order, and they'll get 10% off the currently discounted price for the virtual tickets.
Well, that's fantastic, and I'm sure it's going to happen. I can think of a lot of ways that it could become large enough rapidly. So thank you so much for explaining all that, and I look forward to seeing you up there, and everybody watching. Do come, because it will be a lot of fun. So thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jane.
All right, Clive, thanks for having us.
Oh,
Thank you, Clive.
the next thing, just give us references to where they're going to buy tickets and what your shop's called and how to get in touch, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's www.goodfoodproject.co.uk. And from there, at the top of the homepage, you can get access to the event website. And the goodfoodproject.co.uk is our online shop, if you like. So they can shop there, books, food, meat, anything they want. Your products as well, Clive. They can get a wee grocery box of stuff and put us to the test, as I said. They will not be disappointed, and they'll be well looked after always.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Great.
See you soon.
Thanks, Clive.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.